Welcome everyone to this episode of Let's Chat MetaPWR. And it's lovely to have our guest speaker, Jules. She's actually a writer, an educator, and mother of 3 adult sons and a teenage boy who's nonverbal. And Jules, you said you've been using doTERRA since 2015. So turning to the products, so you're well versed. And you're using them for pain management, support with relaxation and nutrition. And then you also were telling me today that you're the text editor of your sister's Modern Oracle of Essential Oils deck. Now, I want to actually go find it myself. Yeah, KDK. So maybe we can get a link to that deck as well. And you use your love of aromatherapy and you blend it with the Oracle readings to support people in the market spaces in central Queensland. So we're here tonight to talk about MetaPWR, but I'd love to, I love hearing that side of it as well. So it sounds like you started MetaPWR at the start of this year to go hand in hand with some of your New Year's resolutions. I'd love to first of all ask you, how were you before MetaPWR and how are you now after a couple of months having been on it?
Okay, so I sort of dabbled in the MetaPWR before January 1st, but it was always, I never had enough stock or I wasn't set up to do it. So that's one of the things I would say to everyone. If you're going to get onto MetaPWR, make that investment in yourself to be on it, not just stop and start. So before MetaPWR, I was quite lethargic. So I'm actually a fairly hands-on mum because my young son, Benny, who's 13, has Down syndrome, autism, hearing impairments. So it's a full-time job, but I'm also an educator. So very, very, very busy. And I was always depleted at the end of the day. So I'd get to 7 o'clock and I would just pass out. So I'd be have dinner, sit down, maybe watching, the project or something like that. And I would just crash. I'd be so out of it. I can remember in 2020 going to a wedding and it was my niece's wedding and I was really, really breathless. I was feeling uncomfortable in my skin. I was feeling like just low in energy. Everyone around me was getting up and dancing and I could not dance. I just didn't have the energy, couldn't stand on my feet. Anyway, we came to this year, the 1st, and I had found, it was actually the 31st, I had found a piece of paper that had on it my New Year's resolutions from 2013. And one of them was to lose 30 kilos. And there's a lot behind that. Losing 30 kilos, you can't happen overnight. But you do hope that it happens. But it's not just losing 30 kilos. It's not just about weight. It's about getting the stamina back, getting the vitality back in my life and all of that. So I got on the scales and I knew that I hadn't lost 30 kilos. But in fact, I had put on 30 kilos. And so January 1, I decided that I would invest in myself and put doTERRA on the line. So I thought to myself, I've been doing doTERRA now for, since 2015. I've been on my lifelong vitality all that time. I've sort of, I've used the ice blue. I've used the aromatherapy side of it, for your well-being and things like that. I've used the products, the personal care, etc. I'm going to put doTERRA on the line and I'm going to trust the science. So I'm going to believe that if I take the MetaPWR Advantage in the morning, I'm going to get some great results. And I'm going to believe that if I take the MetaPWR Assist when I have a heavier meal, it's going to work like they said it would work, and it's going to support my metabolic system. But I'm going to do more than that. I'm going to look at that pyramid and I'm going to say to myself, it starts with nutrition. So I'm not just going to say, okay, let's take these supplements. I'm also going to say, okay, what have I been doing that needs to stop? What do I need to start doing more of? And so I made a commitment to myself. And my 18-year-old son said, Mum, what's your New Year's revolution? I said, what do you mean, what's my New Year's revolution? He goes, well, what is it? I said, Dales, it's not a revolution, it's a resolution. He goes, well, why don't you make it a revolution? I said, well,
Listen,
why don't I?
that's
Why
magic.
don't I make it a revolution? And I'm a part of the revolution to regain my health and wellness. So I committed to it. And basically, what I did was I said, I'm going to add the MetaPower Advantage in the morning. I'm going to still do my lifelong vitality, the MetaPower Assist. I'm going to add the drops to my water. So that was definite. But I also started with that detox where you do the GX Assist. So I did 10 days of that. Then I got onto the PB Assist. And every day I added something new. So it came back to making these habits, and it's habit stacking. We've all heard this before. Habit stacking is what it's about. But it just wasn't about nutrition. It was about those supplements, but it was also about what can I do? Me, I'm not the fitness guru, but I'm little old me who has to get up every day, tend to my son, my family, go to work, teach, come back in the afternoon, find time for me, find time for my health and wellness, find time to rest. So I started to look at that pyramid. I said, I'm going to add something in every single day. And it was also adding in water, And so that's one thing. We can add the MetaPower drops to our water. So I made sure I checked my weight. I made sure that I was having the right amount of water for my body. I bought myself a pair of scales, and it would tell me everything. It tells me everything. So my weight, how much is my body fat, how much protein am I taking in, what's the visceral fat around my organs. It tells me absolutely everything. And so January, February, I would read up about, what happens with New Year's resolutions. And it was that by day 15, people have fallen off the wagon. But by day 15, I was losing kilos. I was losing fat. I was feeling healthier. My skin is softer. I felt alive. Now, we all went to the leadership, or most of us did. I danced all night. I think I even danced with you.
Yes, we had a
So my stamina, how that was the month of January, and then when was leadership around the 23rd. So it was around about 54 days, had increased so much that I could dance the whole night, and I felt great. Yeah, so that's
remarkable.
before and this is after. And now that I'm feeling this great and I'm seeing the rewards, and let me tell you, I started at 110.4. I got on the scales yesterday. I'm 103.5.
Oh, there you go. You've got some applause there in the audience
Yes,
there, Jules. Yeah, and
but
like you
that's big
say,
for me.
yeah, it's big
Yeah,
for you, but
big
it's
loss.
also it's your how you feel about yourself and your energy, and that's one side of it. But like you say, there's so many benefits, aren't there? And what I
Absolutely.
love from hearing what you've shared there is it was the belief in the MetaPower as a product that matched in with the belief in yourself. So the two came together at the right time. And it sounds like with your habit stacking, was it easy for you to start taking it every day, or were there days where you may have missed it? Or can you tell us a bit about that? What it was like?
Yeah. So I absolutely knew that there's a key to the system, and there's a key to following the program set out by doTERRA. I kept saying to myself, you must trust the science and you must trust doTERRA that they have built this system for the metabolic health. And I'd listen to podcasts and things. Everyone talks about David Sinclair and all of the science around, the MNN and the NAD plus and things like that. And I just went, I'm going to do exactly what they say. I'm going to be a good little girl. So every morning I take it when I wake up. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the routine. Now, if you fall out of the routine, just take it as soon as you remember. Don't give up. And that's the big thing that I have. Don't give up. If you miss, and look, I haven't really missed. I'll tell you a little secret. Last week, I had the worst flu ever, and I couldn't understand it because I'm supercharged, supercharged with the MetaPWR and the lifelong vitality. And it took me out for 3 days. And a girlfriend of mine said, when you do a metabolic, like you're looking at your metabolic system, you sometimes have a bit of a detox. And I think there was one day where I didn't have the MetaPWR, and I just went, no, I'll get back onto it. So I take it in the morning. Now, I don't know who it was. It could have been Karen, talked about taking it at night. So because I had been unwell, I upped it. So I took it morning and night as soon as I started to turn a corner. Yeah. Hopefully my battery won't run down. It just clicked.
Do you need to go get a charger? I can bill in time if you need to.
I know I have brought one here, and I thought I plugged it in.
We'll give you a moment you go plug in, recharge, like how MetaPWR helped you to recharge after being unwell. But that's a great tip that we can all keep in mind to double boost. And there was someone else saying today that as a preventative coming into the change of season, they're actually doubling up on their collagen. So either having it bookending the day, so you could have morning and night, or you could have 2 in the morning. And once Jules is back with us, I'd love to hear a bit more about how you take the product. So it's all based on the oil blend. Are you ready, Jules, to join us?
Yes, absolutely.
So do you?
I'm back now. So
thank you. Do you ever boost your collagen with the oil? Do you ever put them together, or how do you take the?
Yeah, I have heard people say that they do that for the, flavor. I really like the flavor of MetaPWR. So what I do is I put the oil in my water. So I could, and I've heard that people do just put a couple of drops in there, but I just choose to have it. And look, I was right at the start last year was putting it in that big doTERRA flask and, with a little spiral silver shaker, shaking it up. And having the whole glass. And then I heard Emily and co and the doctors say that, no, take it as a shot. And so I just do that, just stir it up and down the hatch. But I definitely put the drops in my water, and I feel so much better when I've done that as well. Just in terms of, just well-being and digestion. Just, I don't know what it is, but it must be the grapefruit and the lemon and the secret oils all in there. What I do sometimes, though, if I have overindulged, now I think my overindulging is like I'll have a pasta meal, and I'll be like, oh, I know that's going to be high in the carbs and things like that. So sometimes I'll take 2 of the MetaPWR Assist, but I also I alternate with Terrazyme. Yeah, so I do that.
Okay, that's a good tip too. Hope everyone's writing these tips down as Jules is sharing them. Question here in the chat. So is there a specific recommendation about perimenopause? Samantha's heard that it's best at night before bed or twice a day. Anyone on the Zoom call aware of this? A particular protocol with perimenopause, or maybe it's something we can look into.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
I do know that MetaPWR, one of the benefits was that it does help me sleep better. So I have found that, and I have heard other leaders in doTERRA talk about that as being a benefit.
Yeah, and
the question there, can you see that question about can you take the Assist and Terrazyme at the same time? I have heard, I don't know what you've heard, but I have heard, Anna, that really you should take them at different times. So I don't mix them. So normally I would have, say in the morning, if I do have like toast, like a sourdough with my protein, my eggs, I always take a Terrazyme. But then a bigger meal, say if I'm having a big lunch on a weekend or the evening meal, I'll take the Assist.
Okay, so Laurie's asking how far apart. So maybe that as a nice indication, have one with the earlier meal and one with the later meal. Laurie.
Yes, yep. And also there are some people, if we are talking about Terrazyme, who take Terrazyme on an empty stomach. So Boyd Truman does that. And he says there's great benefits for that. Some people take it at night so that it works while they sleep.
Yeah. We're fortunate to have so many different products, and, you know, just like we were talking before the interview started, figuring out how each one suits each of us personally. Okay. Question about, when did you do the detox program? That was before you started on MetaPWR.
So because last year I was on and off MetaPWR, when I started the new year, I did the GX Assist for 10 days. And then I did the PB Assist for the remainder. And then when I went into February, I'm still on the PB Assist and the probiotic sachet I'm taking as well. And so I probably in another 2 months, I'll do another GX Assist for 10 days and then, you know, continue with the probiotic. But I do think that having the probiotic is a must. I feel like that has made a difference. Yeah, I really love the PB Assist sachet. It's so easy to take. So I take that. Look, I'm not really around the science of the PB Assist, but I'm taking that one in the morning as well. But MetaPWR is my first point of call.
Thank you. And then Samantha's just referring back to the Assist and Terrazyme separated by at least 30 minutes. So she takes Terrazyme before she eats and the Assist after a heavy carb meal.
And also just with that, I've heard quite a few speakers say, look, if you don't take it before, take it during. If you don't take it during, take it after. They're like, don't get so caught up on it that it stops you, because it's going to work. Obviously, if you're really strict, but if you're someone who's not quite sure, as long as you take it with that bigger meal.
Yeah, I like that too, Jules. When in doubt, just take it. Okay, and was that just the whole 30-day cleanse and restore? Did you do the whole program with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And I stayed on the PB Assist. So some people do 3 months in a row, like they'll do GX Assist and then the PB Assist, start again the next month, GX Assist, PB Assist, and then the next month. But I've chosen to do GX Assist, PB Assist for the remainder of the 3 months. And then once I hit April, I'll be doing the GX Assist again for the 10 days. But this is all just a kickstart, you know, to cleanse. I think the big wake up call for me was the water.
Water.
And I've gotten to the point now where I'm craving water.
Oh, wonderful.
Which is,
and is that
a great place to be.
Water flavored with your MetaPWR or just water?
It can be. So I'll sometimes just take a glass of water and I'll put some MetaPWR in it. But I've got this 2-liter bottle with affirmations. You've probably seen them where it says, keep going, you're on the right track, you're nearly there. And that's really, really important, you know, for me. When I see that level, it makes me accountable. And so if you struggle with water, you might like to get one of those big 2-liter bottles of water. Now, where I am at the moment is I'm meant to be drinking 3 liters and I'm drinking 2 liters, but I'm getting to the point now where I'm looking for more water. And so I'm feeling pretty impressed about that. And that's flushing the whole system, which is, you know, we don't realize how important water is for us, but it absolutely is. So if you can, you know, look at that as well, look at how well you are hydrated. And get yourself these little, what I'm doing is trying to set myself up for success. So that bottle was one thing that actually my niece bought it for me and she said, here, this will probably help you. And it has, it's been fabulous. And so I always take it to work and I get, you know, halfway through the day and I'm like, yeah, I'm nearly there.
I'm loving seeing your smile, Jules. You're just radiating joy. It's beautiful. And I'd love to go back to what you mentioned about the pillars of health. You know, it goes hand in hand with nutrition and sleep and healthy movement and healthy relationships, and then your emotions and your moods, and I can see you just glowing. Like, have you noticed changes in all those different areas as well as your weight loss and your hydration levels improving?
Yeah, I do feel a lot happier in myself because I am winning. And when you win, you feel successful. So look, it's not all smiles either, because last week when I was sick and it was like I hit a brick wall, I was like, hey, what's happened here?
Right.
And I just had to rest. Now, your body will tell you. So my body was saying to me, Jules, you're doing all of this and you are shedding, you're shedding kilos, but you also need to rest. So I was reminded about sleep. Sometimes we think we can operate on 5 or 6 hours, but we really need 8. And often we rob ourselves. When we don't have enough sleep, we're going to feel it in some way. And our body needs to heal while we're sleeping. So that's why sleep and rest and restfulness is all a part of that pyramid. And if we miss or skip or deplete from one area, we will feel the effects of it. So that was a wake up call for me. And basically last week I slept for 2 days
Wonderful.
because I had come down with something, and my body needed to rest. And I normally run on 6 to 7 hours, and it's catching up with me. So it is habit stacking, and it's believing what doTERRA says. I can't express that enough. We must believe that, we must trust the science, and we must believe that this has been carefully set out for us to be successful.
That's a really big takeaway that I'm getting from this chat, Jules, is the trust, having that affirmation, believe in the science, trust the process. It's a great mantra to have while you're taking the products as well. Laurie's asked if you add salt or the recharge sachets to your water.
Yes, I haven't yet. So I do with my water. I'm just taking alkaline water. Obviously, I've got one of those fancy little machines I invested in, and so that's really, really good. I know the water I'm taking is really, really good. The recharge, I haven't got any yet, so I have ordered some, and this is like the electrolyte, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, I am so keen to get my hands on that product. So keen. And I will definitely add it into the regime. And I think the electrolyte will actually benefit everyone in the family. And it excites me because I know, like last week when I was out and unwell, having that electrolyte would have been a big plus for
Oh,
me.
yeah. Yeah.
And you think of the times when our children get dehydrated or unwell, that electrolyte will be a big plus for them. So yes, I am really looking towards adding that in. And that word habit stacking, those 2 words, if you think, oh look, there's so much that has to happen, just start with one thing, then the next, and then build and build. And the electrolyte is something that I want to add in next.
Great tip. Very wise words. Start bite-sized
Yeah,
pieces and add on as you have.
absolutely. Yeah.
One last question.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Tell us.
This was really important because I know that people, they want to look at their metabolic system, and if you are, feeling like it's not all running the way it should, that goal I had of losing 30 kilos, and it was 2013 and I hadn't lost it, I'd put it on. So in my revolution, I wrote down a rule, and the rule was, or a couple of rules. I would take the MetaPWR system every day until or for 365 days. And at the 365-day mark, I would stop and reassess and look at how far I've come.
Beautiful.
But my expectation around weight would be to drop 500 grams a week.
Okay, so you broke it down.
And when I could sit with that, I went, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this. And all I have to do is look at that pyramid, look at my nutrition, take the system as the good doctors have advised daily, take my water, movement. I'm not a gym junkie, like I said, but I do like to go to the beach. I do like to go for a walk. I do like to park my car a little bit further away from my office. I do like to go to the shops and put it at the back of the car park. So I get the incidental exercise happening. That's what I have time for.
Wonderful.
And sometimes I include yoga, and sometimes I'll go to sound therapy and I'm blessing myself. But yeah, so 500 grams was my rule. That would be the minimum that I would expect. And I have surpassed that. So yeah.
Wow, this has been
Does that
amazing.
make sense?
Yeah, you've really broken it down for us and simplified something that can be otherwise a bit daunting or overwhelming for a new person. We've only got 1 minute left, so I'm going to have to say thank you. And anyone who's got more questions for Jules, I can link you up. But that's been marvelous, Jules. You've really made it easy for us to see how simple it is to make the change in those gradual steps. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll end the recording here.